Well, sorry I'm late. Probably, you could probably guess what my review of the Razer Kiyo webcam is. Razer Kiyo Pro. I hate it, and it's bothering me. And I got green in my face. It matches my sweatshirt. It thinks I don't nothing's green screened or anything in the settings, and I did it like 8 times. So this is an awesome start to the stream. Okay, we're gonna try. We are gonna try to keep it together. I got just a seltzer. I didn't even tweet. See, I literally for the last like half an hour I've been trying to get this thing to not be a piece. I'm returning it because yeah, bought it on Black Friday and all right, let's tweet. Sorry. I need to. This is gonna be a super. I hope I can get to the actual topic, which is talking about my history of retro computers, with my history with retro computers. But there are a lot of technical challenges that I've been dealing with, trying to get my capture setup right. The whole reason I have this second camera, I've been talking about it for a little bit. I'm sorry, I hope this is not distracting, but I can't do anything about it. I put the webcam that I used to use, the C920, it's up there because I want to be able to sit or use the computer over here and talk to you guys here. What am I going to do? I'm tweeting. Okay. Let's, can I do that? Okay. I'm in a bad mood, but I'm still streaming. Okay. Send it. Yeet. Okay. All right. I don't know what to do about that. That's super annoying. I tried other cables. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you are not going crazy with just Christmas coming up or the holidays coming up and buying gifts and things. Yeah, I'm chilling. I do need to figure out. I need to plug my headphones in here. I hope you guys can hear me. Let's see. Wait a minute. Did this switch over to something else? Hi, Jorge. Hi, Jorge. I'm trying to. Why? Why is the output there? I'm sorry. I'm losing it. Okay. Let me just check something. Okay, that's fine. That's making noise. Hi, Miner. How you doing? Okay. That is not what I want. God. That is what I want. Okay. Yeah, I know this camera sucks. I mean, maybe it doesn't suck. Maybe I just got it was literally working maybe an hour ago, and I tried to make it not look better, but I was trying to mess with the white balance, and then this happened, and I'm like, nothing I can do. I can't. Factory default set it, and nothing. So, I hope it's not too distracting. It's sort of relevant. I don't know. Your face shines. Yeah. Well, sorry. Okay. All right. So what am I talking about? What's the deal here? I don't know what I was doing. I think I was watching a YouTube video about, well, if it's annoying, I can, it's too late to switch that over. Well, whatever, I'll just go with it. I think I watched a video about DOSBox Pure, which is a core for RetroArch. So RetroArch is like a platform where people can it's kind of like Mister, I suppose, but for software emulation. And DOSBox is a pretty well-known standalone DOS emulator, but I use a mask. Yeah, I might have one of my. This is like a Olay. No, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't like my shirt or something. It's like green screening my shirt. Totally fits the '98 game. Yeah, exactly. Right. This is. We're bringing it back. We're bringing back terrible IT experiences. Anyway, so I've known about DOSBox for a long time, and it's never playing DOS games through DOSBox. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the game. More popular games like Doom, Quake, stuff like that, you're more likely to succeed using a DOS emulator. But as soon as you get through some of the obscure stuff, GOG, good old games, their whole kind of platform is based on selling individual games that have been wrapped in DOSBox, basically. So you're launching a DOS game through DOSBox on a modern computer. So I never really thought about it that much, and for my entire channel, really, in my social media recently, the last few years, whatever, has been retro consoles. But that's kind of half my gaming. I'm not going to say expertise, but that's half my gaming history, my gaming, just what I grew up with. Now, I guess we can start, as long as you please work on it, yeah. Well, this is going to be kind of basically, I'm taking I'm taking a break from doing mods, so we're not going to work on the core graphics for a little bit. I mean, we'll come back to it obviously because it's last time we kind of half did it. So, but I'm just I'm taking a little of a break. I might be getting, well, I'm definitely getting. I've already given Mike Chi some money for a RetroTink 4K, so that's coming. It will actually it should help me with the computer capture compatibility. Right now, I'm actually using, and you'll see in a little bit, I've got this computer. Hey, it's asleep. That's fun. This computer is going through the OSSC back there. I've got I think that's the Laser Bear case, I think, that I printed. So the reason I'm using the OSSC and not, so right now I only have VGA output from this computer, and it also, so VGA is going into the OSSC, but and it's kind of like pass through, so like whatever resolution the computer is running at is going to just pass through the OSSC it's basically like a glorified VGA to HDMI converter. It doesn't really upscale anything. But it also has audio input, like a analog audio input. So I got analog audio output from the sound card of this computer going into the OSSC. So I want to try to save technical details for another stream. I know that might be interesting to some people, but all right, I'm calming down. All right, so I guess because of my recent look into DOSBox and DOSBox Pure and stuff, and not being super satisfied, I started looking at Windows 98 gaming, and I didn't have an objective at first. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just interested in retro computer stuff. So I found Phil's Computer Lab, I think it's called, on YouTube. Tons of great retro gaming content, and all types of content too. It's not just, so I know I've watched LGR, Lazy Game Review videos before. Those are, sometimes they're, he'll fix a computer, or he'll just do like a like the history of a certain type of computer. Phil will do more technical stuff, like how to get games working. So I stumbled across a video. It's something like building a retro computer for demanding DOS games or something on a cheap retro computer for DOS games, something like that. And the idea is basically he calls it a time machine. I don't know if anyone else calls it a time machine, but a time machine, in Phil's terms, is a computer that is newer, that you can tweak stuff either in the BIOS or just based off of what the platform, like that motherboard has. It's kind of like it's new, but it still might have stuff that is helpful for running old games. And the idea being, I guess we're gonna just kind of keep it at Windows 98 level, which is sort of like I want to say it's the latest Windows that is really good for DOS games, but Windows Me is also based off of Windows 9X. It's called Windows 9X, which is Windows 95, Windows 98, and then ME, Millennium Edition, is actually based off of Windows 98. But I don't know why people don't use Windows ME. But anyway, so the idea is you have a newer computer. It's an Athlon, original Athlon 64. So that's I don't know, 2001 maybe. But the motherboard that I got to go along with it has AGP graphics, has PCI slots on it. So that's good for, PCI cards, with like sound cards, and AGP. But that is new-ish. Those are newer motherboard features. I want to kind of contrast it. I don't have it here. Actually, should I show a picture maybe? How do I do this? I'm going to bring it up. Sorry, I'm just doing something on my other monitor. Anyway, so I guess I'm following Phil's guide, and I assembled a computer that's the same platform. So that's the same socket 754, and it's an Athlon 64, like 3300 or something. So that's what I've got here. But just thinking about this, time machines and DOS gaming, it just reminded me super heavy of my the computer I had when. Oh God! Hey, what's up? Oh God! Really? Okay. Well, YOLO. That's the Logitech cam back there. Okay. This computer is close to the one that I had when I was young. So I had this is a Gateway 2000 is the brand, and it was a Pentium. The actual computer that I had a Pentium Pro processor. So this is one generation older. So this is a Pentium processor, the first Pentium. Not the first Pentium, but this is a Pentium 133. So that's the clock speed, so 133 megahertz. Interestingly, it's actually called P5 here. So because Pentium was the 5th generation Intel chip, because it was 8086, 286, 386, 486. Well, I guess maybe those are probably based off around each other. So that's 4 generations, and then Pentium was the 5th generation. Yes, the age of awesome, huge towers. Yeah, I mean, I had this side by side with the computer that I built now, and it's like that computer comes up to it comes up to here. Yeah. Anyway, so this is what I really want to get working, but I am the CD drive that was in here is actually in this computer now. So once I get the replacement CD drive, so I'm waiting for an IDE. It's all IDE stuff, so I'm waiting for a replacement. Once that comes, I'll be able to swap the CD drive from this back to this computer, and I'll be able to get it to work. Now, I thought I had a problem and I said I wasn't going to get into hardware details, but I thought I had a problem with this computer, the gateway computer, but I might not. I'm never going to say that I'm an expert. I'm definitely not, or even close to that. I'm okay at debugging issues. Like if there's problems, I can kind of Google it and figure it out, which is like a super big skill. But it's nice to have more than one computer, just to sanity check things if things are going wrong. So I guess I want to start with 2 floppies in one. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? This is it's not hooked up, by the way, because I'm not going to be using any. Well, I had to burn some disks. I had to burn a Windows 98 disk, but I'm not going to use floppies. I'll go over the hardware. I think maybe next stream I'll talk about hardware stuff, and I'll kind of go over both of the builds. Hopefully I'll have everything, or at least I don't know if I will or not, but because I think it's fascinating. That's half of retro computing is talking about the hardware and how you set it up. But so this computer is where if my dad didn't buy this computer, or the Pentium Pro, which is actually the 6th generation Pentium, between Pentium and Pentium 2 was this Pentium Pro. So that's the computer that I had growing up, and I was kind of amazed at the fact that certain things got burned into my memory. So like I remembered Pentium Pro for some reason, right? I pretty much have not thought about this computer for 20 years, and unfortunately, we probably recycled it many years ago. Now I'm kicking myself about that because that was dumb. But the interesting thing is prices are kind of, depending on what you're trying to buy, now might be an okay time to buy. If you are nostalgic for a system or something, it might be an okay time to just buy a whole system and fix it, because this was only $160 or something. I say only, I mean it's kind of a $160 paperweight, but I think it's cool. I think I like the way the case looks, and it was working for the most. So this was probably the Pentium Pro. So I kind of traced back based off of the things I remembered. So Pentium Pro, I remembered that. So that means that I looked up Gateway 2000 and Pentium Pro. And I think it was 96 when we got that computer. It's got a nice this computer and nice CRT, which we also don't have anymore. But like that's what I grew up on, is that. And in the very beginning, when my dad got this, I kind of asked, I actually asked him about this recently. I said, why did you get that one? Why pick this specific model? And he said that he just had to buy one because the hardware was changing so quickly. Because I mean, Pentium 2, from Pentium 1 to Pentium 2, so let's say the highest Pentium 1 is like, upwards to like 200 megahertz or something. The Pentium 2s were like 700, approaching 1,000, gigahertz. So very rapidly, things were changing, and he just had to pull the trigger, and that's what he bought. So that's just a random thing. Which is why I kind of don't feel bad about getting this one that's like a little bit slower, because it's still in the same realm, and I think it'll still work for my purposes. So in the beginning of that computer had Windows 95, and it had a bunch of like pack-in software. That's kind of how when you bought a computer back then, part of because it was not cheap. I don't think I think my dad spent probably, I'd have to guess, probably like $3,000 or more on the whole. It was the tower, the monitor, and all the software that came with it. It was expensive. Or maybe it was like I don't know, something like that. It was expensive, I know. So it comes with some software. It had some like education games. I remember playing this like Green Eggs and Ham game or something, but I didn't have any other experience with any other games other than what it came with. I think Myst actually came with it. We got a CD for Myst. But there wasn't that many things that came with. Well, you know what I mean. There were some things that we could do to stay interested, but we ended up getting some games later. So I think one of my uncles. Okay. Keep in mind too. I was in 1996. I was 6. I was 6 years old, so really not able to comprehend computers, let alone operating systems and DOS. Yeah, this was great. So it ended up like my uncle brought over Sim Town. That was the first game that I remember playing beyond the pack-in software. But then it went from Sim Town to my dad's friend bought us Doom, and Doom 95, the Windows port of Doom. So I remember I was young when I first played Doom. So I was probably 6 or 7. You feel super old now. Yeah. Well, well, I think another reason that I'm bringing this up, like I said, the prices for things, some of the things are scary. Like I know 46 computers because of like the LGR builds and stuff, and just that era. For whatever reason, on eBay the prices they're going crazy. But if you look for pre-builts, I mean, maybe you want, I don't know about 40, like that old, those older computers, like I know there's even, I mean, obviously there's even older computers, personal computers, like home computers, I should say, older than that. But you know, I'm starting with my frame of reference, which is this Pentium/Pentium Pro era. So pretty quickly, I had to memorize some commands. Doom ran through Windows, so I'd never really had to do anything with that. But I remember also getting this other game, Full Throttle. I think that was the first DOS game. Oh no. Well, SimTown was also DOS. And so I remember having to launch that. I don't even remember the commands now, but I remember having to restart into DOS mode, and then you have to go in a certain directory and stuff. I didn't understand what I was doing. I just knew that I had to reboot into DOS and then type these words in a specific way in order to get it to launch. So it's really amazing coming back now and having the skills, you know, not that I have the skills, but I know what's going on now, whereas I didn't before. So then from there, it was like there's a lot of games. I mean, I didn't play a ton, but I did play the games that I had a ton, if that makes any sense. So like I remember SimCity 2000, which we never got sound to work. If you know anything about that era of hardware, especially DOS games in that era of hardware, you have to know what the settings are set to for certain hardware in order to get it to enable in the game, or else you would just literally not, you could just play the game without any sound or whatever. Like, you had to know how to set it up to get it to work. Hey, Belmont. So, things make a lot more sense now than they did then. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, that was kind of for a while, 95, DOS, couple DOS games, just playing that. That was around, you know, Super Nintendo / N64 era for me, was those games. It wasn't until a little bit later that this same computer, the Gateway, we installed. I don't know who was behind it. Maybe my dad's friend, because my dad's friend was the one, was the person in our family that a little bit later on tried to get my brother into computers. So I'll get into that in a little bit. But someone installed Windows 98, which was a good thing though, because not too long after that we got dial-up internet. So that was Gateway. That Gateway machine was really a lot of firsts, right? First computer that could play games. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And then first computer that could go on the internet, which is crazy to think about now. So all those things were handled on this measly Pentium Pro. Fine, you know. And then that same computer is the era of like torrents. Like I learned how to do BitTorrent and stuff, pirating music and stuff for school. Like I did that on this computer, although like the dial-up internet is terrible. It wasn't until I moved to my other house, my parents' next house, where they got cable internet, that was really better for downloading stuff. AutoExec did the job. You're saying words, and I kind of know AutoExec is like a script that runs before. There's some things that I understand. Anyway, so we got to Windows 98, and that's kind of where that computer stayed. And then it was, ironically, it was the Athlon. So after that computer, my sister knew this guy. His name is Mike. His name is Mike. And he built custom computers. So he built one for my sister. And then I asked him to build me one. And he actually built me an Athlon gaming computer that had Windows XP on it. Yeah, I must have always had XP XP was what, about that same time, 2001. Anyway, so that was kind of like the next step up for me to get away from the gateway. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it now. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the history. Is I have all these memories of playing games and not being satisfied with DOSBox and stuff, DOS emulators. And so I just wanted to get my hands dirty and to really experience it again on real hardware. Now that doesn't mean, like I said before, I think that there's actually good budget builds that you can build and get to the same spot. Now, are they going to have 100% compatibility? Probably not. There are some games that are hardware specific. Like you have to really try to get your specs down to slow down the CPU and stuff for some games. But I don't, I'm just going off of what Phil had talked about. So let's read the chat here. IRQ dance. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now knowing that there's these connections that the hardware and the game or the software have to make with each other, right? They get set. Old hardware has jumpers that you can change those settings, but like this computer has a Sound Blaster Live in it, and it has emulated Sound Blaster 16, but it still has the IRQ and the DMA stuff. Set Blaster 822. Yeah, right. That's nice. Plug and play was a thing of the future. Yeah. Well, that's what the cool part about 95 and 98 was. Is like that was also the time. That was the first time I'd ever used a disc. Also, I never used a disc before that. It was all these cartridges, and I had a VHS player. I didn't have DVD wasn't a thing until years later. So discs is another first. So the era of like interactivity with a computer. I didn't know anything that was not that because that was the first computer that I ever used. I probably had used an older computer in school, but it was never really a focus in any of my classes. I think I played Oregon Trail. It must have been like an Apple II or like an old IBM or something. That was just in one of the rooms. But I never really, I hadn't had a lot of experience before this computer. Let's read the BBS. Yeah, BBS was like, I guess it's sort of like I know what they are. I don't really know what they looked like. Is it like a chat room? It's more than that. It's not it's not like a web page. It's kind of like I don't know, chat. I don't know if I'll probably never connect these to the internet, but Blue Screen of Death. Nice. I remember having a video card that also had composite out. Yeah, this is like the interesting era. Well, there is an older computer, and I'm a fool also. It's like around the same time that we recycled this computer, we also, for some reason, like my dad had this a shop, and they had this older. I know now that it has a 286, and it was an IBM. So I have this computer in parts. So I have the case, I have the power supply, I have all the boards. I think I have the CPU. Don't know where the cooler went. So like when you're younger, you like try to learn how to fix stuff, whatever, but you're really just taking stuff apart. That's what I did. So this computer, this 286 computer is just in parts and pieces in my mom's attic. So maybe I'll try to get that one running too. But that's old. That's 3.1 Windows 3.1 stuff. So I was using my computer to make music. Ah, that's neat. Yeah, it's amazing. I've watched a lot of, not a lot, but to kind of prepare for, well, I'm not preparing for anything. I've been going crazy. I don't know if you guys can tell on Twitter, whatever. Like, I post constantly about this stuff. I think about it a lot. Like, other than this Razer thing here that's happening, I don't know. I just feel happier and just, I like going down this rabbit hole for whatever reason. So, when I bought a 360K floppy for school, I remember I asked for the price. It was expensive, so I ordered 2. She said, "Why do you need 2? You'll never fill the disk space in your life." Yeah, that's funny. Nowadays, it's like, how can I get petabytes in my own NAS at home? Okay, so that's where I want to go back. Is 6, 7, 8-year-old me, and I need your guys' help. I know that I put a poll out today on Twitter asking. It's pretty God, I hate this. I'm here. It was a pretty interesting poll, I think. I just said, did you ever use Windows 95, 98 when you're growing up? And if so, do you remember using DOS? And of the 800 people that clicked on the poll, 80% are yes. And I know, just from my statistics of my YouTube channel stats, 50% of people are older than me. And, so like the age range is like 28 to like 40. So most people are older than me that watch the channel. And it's by a little bit. I mean, there's an equal amount of people around my age and a little bit younger, but more than 50, it's like 52% or something are older than me. So I could use your oldness and fill in some gaps for me, because I'm super interested. Not in everything, but I think there's things that, like, I heard something about, I don't know what TSRs are. I've heard that before. And also there might be better or worse ways. So the other thing I wanted to kind of think about before this stream, and I didn't really get far, is how to get games. It's how to get games as legally as possible. Let's just put it that way. Because I don't, on one hand, I think that retro, I don't really think that much. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts about, viewing it from a preservation standpoint? Like trying to collect hardware and preserve it. That's a big part of it. But at the same time, you want to actually use it and play games with it. So there's kind of this weird gray area where you're doing it for, what is it called? Not free speech. What the heck am I trying to think of? Fair use. It's kind of fair use, but it's kind of not. Like for me, I don't know. So all I could say is, if you're looking for a specific DOS game, check GOG, Good Old Games, first. If they've got it, usually if you buy it, download it, and install it, it unpacks all the files that you need into a folder on your modern computer. Then you can just copy and drag the stuff over there. I think we'll talk about maybe software setup maybe when we go over the computer. But I'm doing my best to try to say that I and you should also try to do it as legally as possible. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, some things it's impossible. Some things GOG has nothing about. So or doesn't have the game or whatever, doesn't know what you're talking about. So for those cases, there's stuff like archive.org, which most of the games that I've checked that I can't find on GOG or any other modern storefront or whatever. It doesn't make sense to me to buy the. Here's another thing before we move on. I'm not a big fan of physical media from the standpoint of I think that it's going to just be. It's just kind of e-waste in the long run. I don't think that any of these technologies are really designed for like long-lasting storage. Maybe hard drives is the only thing I can think of that on paper kind of seems like it would be really long-lasting, but CDs definitely not, and floppy disks definitely not. Those are consumable things. So as much as I appreciate and like people that collect games and things, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna like go to eBay. No developer is getting any money, royalties from me buying a used game, for the purposes of this. So that's, I guess, all I'll say about piracy and things. I'm trying not to go there, but unfortunately you have to go there, to get her done. So, okay. You're not understanding the question. Was there a question? Older gap that range, above that range? Yeah. All right, just looking at the comments. NetApp. Just get the games, enjoy them. Yep. That's why I love MAME. Yep. Everyone give each other copies back then. Yeah, well, the weird thing, there are some great tools now. Like before, like, what the heck is going on? There's a cat going crazy behind me. There's like, this is like the age of kind of this. This was here and it just said ass. Sorry. This is the kind of around the age of copy protection where you either had, they would say, before you start, you've got to look in the manual and you've got to tell us a word on a certain page or something, or you need to have the disk in the drive. Well, that's not necessarily copy protection so much as like sometimes apps installed to a location, but then they referenced where they were installed from. So I installed Encarta, the encyclopedia, today, but it didn't like how I installed it. It wants to be on the install files want to be on a disk, and then it like needs to reference it. It's strange. I don't know. Maybe there's a workaround for that. All right, so I'm gonna. What?
Did you give Phil dinner?
Yeah, I did. Okay, so where was I? All right, so let's developer also not getting money. I don't know. I would feel bad then about like what's the argument for buying it then? My thought, you don't think they pay royalties to the original developers when they can? The developers is a bad word. I guess I meant to say the rights holders, which is in the legal sense, they are the appropriate person to receive funds when a game is bought, I guess. So, yeah, bad word. Okay, so my brain is still kind of mush over this webcam, and this whole getting to this point of getting a computer to work was kind of annoying. Again, I'll talk about hardware another time, but I was trying to the gateway that I got didn't have a hard drive. So there's a lot of options for hard drives, and one of the popular ones is a compact flash, so CF to IDE adapter. You can put compact flash, which incidentally I had never used before this. I only ever really used SD cards and USB or like flash drives. But that can be your hard drive. So I bought a 32 gigabyte compact flash drive, which is not huge. I think that Windows 98 has a limit of like 120 gigabytes or something, but that's a Windows 98 limit. The motherboard and the BIOS of that gateway computer has a limit of like 2 gigabytes. So try finding try finding an SSD or something, Most of the stuff that Phil's Computer Lab has talked about, it's always like IDE adapters. So like everything's going through IDE. So it's not necessarily like because on this motherboard there actually are SATA connectors, but it's just for compatibility reasons. It's just better to have it all on IDE. So it's all going to IDE. I really wish that there was like an SD to IDE, but yeah. So on this computer, they pay a licensing fee. Okay, so that's yeah, right. I don't know. You can debate about whether that's right, but yeah, whoever holds the rights, I guess in our country that's who should get the money. So I'm not trying to circumvent that system. That's what I'm trying to say. But I sort of wish that there was SD to IDE. There probably is, but I like to stay with name brand stuff when I can. Like StarTech is the compact flash adapter that I have. So I ended up getting a 2 gigabyte compact flash card, and that ended up working. So it's like weird, arbitrary things, and I think there's a BIOS update that could have fixed that, but yeah, I don't know. So I guess I'll give a mini tour of this, the state of this computer. Actually, are you guys interested in like price of things? I guess we can go to eBay quickly before we go and actually look at the computer, because I really do think that this is a good deal, and if you guys are kind of tired of spending a lot of money on other retro game stuff and need a little break from that, this might be a really good break, because you don't have to spend a lot of money and you kind of get a lot out of it, right? You're getting real DOS, real DOS gameplay, like you're not emulating it, and you get to learn if you've never had the experience of building an old computer with IDE cables and hardware restrictions and BIOS tweaks that you've got to do. There's a lot. I think that there's a lot for you to learn there if you've never done that. So let's just look quickly. I don't think any of this stuff is sensitive. Can you guys hack me from my eBay, these order numbers? I hope not. So let's just start at the beginning. So this is the processor. This is the processor that I'm running. So it was only $22. So let's say $20 there. Add that to the motherboard, which is $40. So this is $60 total for the motherboard and the CPU. The memory, this guy was on vacation, so he refunded my money. But the memory I ended up using was $15. I only ended up using, this is 10. I only ended up using one stick, so you could probably find a 256 DDR1 stick for, $10, $15. So that's $75. You need a cooler, so that's probably going to bring you up to like $90 unless it comes with one. You might be able to get a bundle. Somebody's trying to get rid of a no-name computer with certain specs, so you might get lucky. And then this was a dumb idea. I should not have bought this case, because my thinking was it came with the CD drive and this floppy drive, but I'm not going to use the floppy drive because I used a floppy emulator instead, and the CD drive was dead. So I should have bought a brand new, like a Fractal Design Focus G or something, which still has drive bays. Should have bought that for less money than this. So let's say $40 for a computer case. Because again, guys, there's not a lot of heat going on with this old computer. So you can really put it into like nothing. So let's say $40, that's $130. The most expensive part was, some drives. You can get some, you need you need a floppy emulator, because you need a floppy to run a floppy boot disk. So that's like $30. So that goes up to what was I at? So I was at $130. But I guess I'll just try to say that it's probably under $200 all the parts, and you can kind of piecemeal it too. Like if you're on a super tight budget, you could buy like one piece a month or something, or paycheck or whatever, and kind of slowly build it up. And you can kind of pick and choose what you need first. The most expensive part, unless you have power supplies lying around, was the power supply for me, because of the with all the, what was it? There's some with China where we did some kind of a we got rid of these like lower prices on some electronics kind of recently, so that kind of sucks. So like $200 to $300, I would say. Talking about what type of hard drive or floppy disk. I got the Gotek floppy emulator. Like I said, I'm trying to do this without hints from Sia. Check eWaste for free PC. Yeah, that's something that I was going to look at. Is I couldn't easily find a place nearby. I mean, I didn't really do a super great job, but I'm sure there's used like recyclers that would be willing to sell. There used to be this place called Pratt and Whitney is actually semi-local to me, and they used to have a computer like surplus store where they would sell old computers. That would be a good idea if you've got something like that around you, like a PC surplus or recycler. They might be able to. You might just be able to walk in and pick what you want and give them some money or something, and just be like, okay, have a nice day, and you can have a sick system. But you have to know what you want and what to avoid. And I don't know if they're going to price gouge you, but anyways, you can do a lot with not that much. Maybe you already have some stuff too. So yeah, so I ended up, so CO, yeah, actually when I, the gateway, the other gateway, and like I said, I'll probably talk about hardware on a different stream, but it didn't, the power supply was dead. And so the difference, one interesting thing about older computers, so like the Gateway 2000 age and even older, so like IBM, kind of like those more like horizontal computers, they all have AT power supplies. I just have one on the floor here instead of ATX. So the AT was the form factor. And the interesting thing, other than like the motherboard connectors, they use these P8, P9 kind of things. Oh God, this stupid webcam. But also the power switch is connected to the power supply. That's why often AT power supplies kind of go together with the case in most of the time. But they make these, I don't know how, they're, as a generalization, if you're using newer-ish hardware, you can get away with using an ATX power supply with an adapter. However, another interesting thing about AT versus ATX is AT has -5 volts, whereas ATX does not. It has 3 volts on ATX. So, but that is hardware specific. Like there's only certain cards that need that -5 volts. Yeah, so you might be able to get away with it. So that's what I did for that other computer, and it ended up working. So is that dead? Yeah. I think it's dead. The power switch didn't have any continuity, so somewhere is a short in the. It could be caps, but honestly, I don't know if I would ever. Well, I don't know. Maybe sometime we'll take that apart, or if you want to do something with it, you can. But yeah, I swapped that out for a newer one. Our landfill people don't let you grab. Yeah, they might be getting some kind of recycling incentive money. I know. We have in our town, we have a electronic dump shed. Like you go there and you can put stuff, TVs or whatever you've got. It sucks. I wish that, that's not that I'm telling you to go out and buy crappy old computers, but I think it might be important if computers are important to you and you have some nostalgia for some old some era of computing. Like this specific generation for me is what I have nostalgia for. It might not be a bad idea to try to look on eBay even like step one, I think, look locally if you can. It's going to be probably impossible to look at like thrift stores. At least in my area, they're not really great. And I don't go often enough to find good stuff, but it might be a good idea to use, try to get some old equipment and just preserve it. Try to preserve it. Clean it up. If you've got to, I wouldn't willy-nilly replace capacitors and stuff, but just as much as it is important to, clean and maintain your retro consoles, retro computer stuff too. You should maintain that stuff. So. Cut the wiring harness off of it. It isn't worth the time trying to repair. No, I didn't want to fix it. That's why I just got the adapter thing. So interesting. So you just made your own. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. So then we don't have to buy the thing, the adapter thing, but they're cheap enough. All right. So I know this is a lot of rambling, but let's go over. I think you guys want to actually game now, or at least check out the install. Might have some fun. I guess I know that this retro computing is a very big topic. So if you have any questions or anything, I know I'm probably not the best. Like I'm not a expert. I like I said, I was 6 when this was happening, but I'm learning this stuff now, and like it's on the top of my mind now. So if you have questions about how to get started, even, I highly recommend that Phil's Computer Lab channel. Okay, so let's go over to. I need to fix this. So if I go to this says no signal, but it lies. Why is it doing this? Oh God. Oh, you know why? Because it's okay. So like I said, this is the OSSC. The computer is going through the OSSC. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Oh, I also need to turn my. Last time God, I don't know what's happening. I got to turn my. Sorry, I was not prepared over here. I got to put YouTube comments, but I got to boot my TV up. Oh wait, you guys can see me now. Yeah, is this okay, or is this weird? Unfortunately, I got to look down here for the comments. It's definitely weird having you guys over here now. I'm just pulling up. Did this start to cat? Oh, it did work. Nice. It worked. Yeah, I haven't used the OSSC in a while, and it definitely struggles when you switch resolutions. I'm just gonna take my sweatshirt off. It doesn't do a great job of when you go into a game or out of a game or whatever, where when Windows boots or when the BIOS is booting, they're all different resolutions. So the OSSC is like struggling on that resolution switching. Which I hope that the RetroTink 4K will help with. So that's one thing that I'm excited about. What is happening? Why did this do that? Okay, we're almost there, I swear. Okay. Oh, maybe it's a little high. Okay, I can tilt it a little bit. Oh, shoot. No. Oh, God, I hate computers sometimes. I don't have, the problem is I don't really have a good way to, I wish that I could have another monitor over here, but the stupid LG OLED that I've got takes up so much room. Okay, that was too low. Now I got to make the chat. So get rid of that default view. Yep. Alrighty. All right, we're good. We're here. I also need my headphones because, okay, so I've got the computers connected to the OSSC. Then the OSSC is going over to the other side, which is going to my capture setup. And then I have an audio extractor on that side that's going to this to my computer, the line in port on my computer. So I should be able to. Oh God, what? Okay, so why is the mouse not working right now? Ding, 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 ding. Hey, there we go. Okay. Groovy. Okay, so this is my humble Windows 98 install on this computer. I would never have been this organized when I was a kid, but I'm trying to organize all my games into different folders depending on what type of game, and I'm already failing at that. So actually, let me go to the C drive. These are just shortcuts. Is this sound not working? Is the sound working for you guys? Why is this super laggy right now? Just using this computer is laggy. Should I restart it maybe? Okay, I'm going to restart Windows. So you guys can hear the glorious Windows startup noise. It could also be, because I'm using USB mouse, but I've got a PS2 mouse. I might have to switch to that. And now we wait for OSSC to choke. Oh my god. That is the reason why I can't hear anything. Oh, so maybe sleep wake borked it. Maybe I have to disable sleep so that it doesn't sleep. All right, let's test the audio. Okay, cool. So now you should be only hearing. Do you guys hear? I think you can hear the sound now, right? Here, I'm gonna start up. I'm gonna start Doom. I think that we should just. I'll probably for the rest of the night, unless you guys want to do something else. Let's fire up Doom. And actually, you know what? Just for ha-has, let's see how the RetroTink likes DOS mode. Probably is not going to capture it. Let's see. Here, let's go. So, what I was talking about before is I'm trying to organize like all the DOS games, but I kind of messed up, so I should make like a DOS games folder. Oh, CD. And then inside of here, we gotta go to the Doom folder, and then we can just go to Doom. Okay, so let's just, I want to see if you guys can hear it. I think you guys should be able to. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. DOS 15 kilohertz. I don't have I don't have any kind of VGA to SCART adapter. Yep, IDDQD, Kevin, IDKFA. Okay, so I think you guys can hear it, right? Let me know if you guys can hear it. Now, the interesting thing, I played this game originally on Windows 95, and the Windows 95 version actually can run at a higher resolution. It runs at, like, you can run it at, like, 640, I don't know. There's a higher resolution for these games, but this is the DOS version, so it's lower. Yeah, okay, so audio's working. I'm just gonna do it on oh god, mouse look is disabled. Actually, you know what, I think I didn't run setup. I don't know if you have to run setup every single time. I know Windows 98 is not supposed to support USB, but I have the USB driver. Oh wow, it's freaking out now. You guys see that in the capture? Yeah, it's kind of wavy. If you run setup, that's gonna bring this up. So I want to. Let's see, how do I want this? Yeah, this is right? Darn. Okay, well, maybe it only works if it's in... I think there was something I had to add. So this is where I kind of, when I loaded it, so with Windows 98, you can launch DOS games, some DOS games, directly from like a folder. You don't have to go to the reboot in DOS first to load it. But I think that allows you to bring some drivers and support things over, like USB mouse and stuff. This one does not look like it is. So I might just do it from Windows. Do. Ooh, I do like the Windows 98 boot sound. Okay, so now if we go to here, because I want mouse click to work, which I had no idea worked when I was a kid. It might not have had good compatibility with USB stuff, but so if you're in here, now if I go to setup, let's see. Music is right, Sound Blaster is right, and now we can go to controller setup. Yeah, see, now it's working. So now from here, it'll boot it in like a DOS emulation layer, and not actual DOS, but it's DOS-ish, I think. I'm pretty sure that this doesn't actually run in DOS, like native DOS. This is like a Windows 98 DOS emulation layer thing. Okay. So now we should be able to do mouse look. Yes. This is what I wanted. Okay. So like I said, I was 6 when I played this game. Actually, I played Doom 2 first. That was the first one I played. So satisfying. And I got the, I guess the Sound Blaster has some kind of MIDI emulator or something. You can give it different sound fonts, so that's what this is right now. It's using MIDI. Because if I switched it to just the Sound Blaster, it doesn't, for the music especially, it doesn't sound good. Well, it doesn't sound like how I remember it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Get him. Get me some health. All right. Oh yeah. I never played Wolfenstein, so that'll have to be something that I do, because, and Quake too, actually. I never really played that. I played a little bit of it, but not much. So maybe this would be a good opportunity for me to play those games. Give me the armor. Okay, now I need the red key, which is down here. Oh, yeah. I kind of thought about buying a Model M keyboard, PS2 keyboard, but for the price, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that. So now you can buy a used one. So like if I found a used one that was in good condition, that was not very expensive, I probably would buy it. But I would like to have I would like to get good native PS2 keyboard and mouse, because I think the issues that I'm having with Mouselook and DOS are because of the USB support. Oh, I forgot about the, there was another door I could have gone down, huh? This opened up this. Yeah. Where'd you come from? Is there another? Oh, this? Yeah. Somewhere around here is that shortcut. Down here? Not the shortcut, but the chainsaw. This, maybe? Yes. Yes, give me the chainsaw. So that I cannot use it. Huh? Okay, so do you guys want to hear what the? Let me save the game. Oh, of course it has an apostrophe of it. Let's quit. Go back into setup, and then let's change the music to the actual, from general MIDI to the actual Sound Blaster. And then we can run it that way. You can hear how much worse that the Sound Blaster sounds. Oops. well, let me go to the E1M1. I just didn't think it sounded as good. Why does it? It sounds super quiet, huh? Oh, the OSSC. Okay, now we're good. I can't. There's no real great way to. Oh wait, I can turn up. It sounds terrible. Oh, here we go. So that's why I'm not using the Sound Blaster. Well, I am using the Sound Blaster, but the MIDI, the general MIDI. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. So that is why I've been running with the general MIDI for the music. So now we gotta do that again. Okay, music. Well, let's do something else then. All right, how about this game was Mickey's ABCs. It was a game I remember playing at my local library, and it doesn't run for some reason. We could play SimCity 2000, but that game is kind of involved right now. So let's see, what other games? I guess we can play Jill of the Jungle. I didn't get very far. So Jill of the Jungle, this game actually comes from Good Old Games. It's free on Good Old Games too. So that's a game that you can get the shareware version on GOG. Well, actually, there is only a shareware version. But then I had to do some patch because the sound effects weren't working. The music was working, but the sound effects weren't working. So I got a patch on Vogons, which is a cool forum. So let's play Jill of the Jungle. Detecting your hardware. Did it? Okay, well, this froze. Okay, let's... actually, we're not going to be able to load that there, aren't we? The joys of DOS. Did I load the wrong thing? I thought that's how you're supposed to run it. It was working earlier. Oh, here we go. That's strange. I literally didn't do anything and now it's detecting it. Okay. Yes. I don't really know the controls. I kind of do. Are you supposed to be able to get it? Oh, yeah, look at that. Huh. So let's get up here. This game is kind of hard with just a keyboard. There was another game. There was a few games, like smaller games, that I remember playing, like Jez Ball, I think it was called, and then Chips Challenge was another game I really liked. Ugh, come on. Oh boy, did I just knife that thing? Just knife a flame. Oh, come on. Turn on turtle mode. Maybe that'll get me there. Turtle mode. Just slows it way down. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Let's say epic. Epic. Oh, was I supposed to get up there? Is there something I can do down here? Yeah. Oh, OSSC, no signal. What the heck? Maybe it doesn't like the, let's see what the OSSC says on it. What resolution are we getting? .449p. I guess it doesn't like the resolution that Jill of the Jungle is at. Is there a way to change? Wow, I've been playing this game the whole time and you guys haven't been able to see it. Dang. Okay, well, let's try something different. I guess we could play, let's see if SimCity 2000 works. It was so satisfying when I got the sound working, because it never worked when I was young, so I had no idea what this game sounded like. Articulating splines. Oops, I didn't mean to found new city, but okay. Okay, we got a budget. Sure. Oh, this happened last time. I got stuck in cheetah mode with no way to get out. Ugh. And the OSSC doesn't like this game either, which doesn't make any sense. It should. Ah, brother. Maybe if I turn this off and on. Well, it looks like I'm having hardware problems, and I'm sorry about that. I don't know how I'm gonna, like... How do I fix that? I'm just gonna have to mess with it offline, I guess. Ah, man, this is a bummer. All right, I gotta leave SimCity 2000. Does this work again? I don't know why this is happening to me. Well, let's debug. I think if I do... but then I'm not going to be able to hear it. All right, well, you know what? That's right. I think I'm gonna I might end the stream. This about sums up my life. I think I'm gonna end the stream now out of frustration. I'll try to, let's see, does it work now if I switch back? This seems like it was kind of related to I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. It might have something to do with my HDMI switch. I hope this terrible stream didn't I don't know, make you guys not want to think about retro computing stuff, because I don't know. It seems it's exciting to me. I think there's a lot of possibilities. It's just difficult to get everything working correctly. So, but we will be back. I want to do some more of these, so it's going to be hard in the beginning. There's going to be a lot of cringe streams of just stuff not working, but we're going to get there. Like I said, eventually we've got the RetroTink 4K lined up, so that hopefully should help us with our capture compatibility. Hopefully we'll be able to capture. I hope we'll be able to capture these oddball computer resolutions, and I have the AverMedia capture card, which is what's giving me the problem here. There's no signal. Is that AverMedia capture card? I don't know why. Some combination of all my HDMI stuff is freaking it out. So we'll be back with another stream. I'll try to do some debugging stuff, but I think probably next stream I'll probably maybe do a hardware stream. We'll talk about the computer hardware and talk about both my builds, and yeah, see if it's something that you guys want to do for yourself. So sorry about the shape of this stream. Things are not working with me, working for me tonight, but no, I don't have a 4K yet. But hopefully soon, because that would help with the resolution switching stuff, at least. And maybe that might fix the compatibility. I know that the OSSC did not like any other capture card other than my Magewell capture card. So it could be that. It could be just bad OSSC compatibility. I haven't used that thing in a while. So, yeah. There's 1080p output of the RetroTink 4K into CRT. Yeah. Yeah. I also have a CRT that I would like to fix. So I've got the tools now. I have the cap thing. I'm gonna make a cap that anode, whatever it's called, capacitance tool thing. I'm gonna make one of those because it is flickering the screen, not like a constant flickering, but like every 10 to 15 seconds it would like do a little micro jitter. So I knew, and it would make a little noise along with that. So I know something is up there, and it's never been cleaned. I'm sure the entire time that I've ever owned it. So it needs to be cleaned and probably the caps replaced. But there might be some damage. I don't really think so. It's never been shipped. It's never been mailed. So I hope it doesn't have any broken PCBs or anything. But I would like to fix, just to service it. So, all right, we'll be back again. I'm gonna keep trying. I think the hardware is failing me today, but there's something. See, this is why some days I regret not making videos anymore, because I don't know. Sometimes it's a little more concise when you can just talk about it in a video instead of just off the cuff live stream like this. But I could talk forever about it. So yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time. And we'll probably talk about the builds. Unless I get the RetroTink 4K, then maybe we'll do that instead. Just like maybe we'll do a stream with just different consoles and stuff. But we'll see. So